Good morning, welcome to EduSet Network. Friend, today we are going to discuss a very important topic, emotional intelligence. You probably heard about the intelligence quotient IQ, but let's know about the emotional intelligence. So we'll try to understand how it is different from intelligence quotient and why it is necessary to develop emotional intelligence for the success of your rural life. It is very necessary because intelligence quotient gives you only marks, excel in only the academic front, but on the other hand, when you have a good emotional intelligence, will excel in the life. You will get success anywhere. So how it is different and what are the theoretical and what is the practical aspect of emotional intelligence, we'll try to understand. And for discussion on this very topic, we have in studio Dr. Silpa Jain. She is basically trainer, behavioral trainer, and she teaches organization behavior in one of the renowned university of the country, Guru Gobind Singh Innsbruck University. He is assistant professor there in University School of Management Study and has a lot of work done on this very issue, on organization behavior and behavioral part. So I think her knowledge and experience will give an insight to understand this topic. So on her behalf, I welcome her for EduSet lecture. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Amrinderji. Very good morning to dear students. I'm going to talk to you about enhancing behavioral skills through emotional intelligence. When we talk about emotional intelligence and we want to search about emotional intelligence, the first thing that comes on any website, the name that comes is Daniel Goleman. So Daniel Goleman, he says that what really matters for success, character, happiness and lifelong achievement is a definite set of emotional skills, your EQ, not just purely cognitive abilities that are measured by conventional IQ tests. Now, what does this mean actually? Why Goleman has said this? Why he says that it is not measured by the IQ tests? See, there is a lot of difference between intelligence and emotional quotient. What is intelligence? Though the experts differ on their views about intelligence, but the most common definition or you can say the idea about intelligence is that it is the ability to learn from experience and the ability to adapt to the surrounding environment. Now, what do we mean by adapt to the surrounding environment? This is absolutely your emotional intelligence. Now, we know that IQ can help us to have good grades relatively well. It peaks in late teens. It is culture bound, different in different cultures and different in different genders and socio-economic status. It also differs according to socio-economic status. Gets you into the door into the professional schools. Yes, you can. With your IQ can make out into big institutes in medicine, dentistry, law, engineering or any other place, or you can get a good job also. But it does not predict success in life, and also it only predicts 6% of your job success. So what else predicts your job? It is your emotional quotient. Even the most intelligent people get butterflies in their stomach, anxious before giving speech, indigestion, nausea and stress, which may even contribute to getting an ulcers. Why? Because of maybe lack of emotional control. So IQ is just the tip of the iceberg. Rest is your emotional quotient. Bachelor says, individuals with identical IQ may differ very markedly in regard to their effective ability to cope with their environment. It is not possible to account for more than 50 to 70% of the interest. Correlational variance after all recognizable intellectual factors are eliminated. This leaves anywhere from 30 to 50% of the total factorial variance unaccounted for. It is suggested that this residual variance is largely contributed by such factors as drive, energy, impulsiveness, etc. So, when we talk about Wechsler, who is Wechsler? Wechsler is the person who actually gave the concept of uh, intelligence quotient, IQ. And in his later studies, Wechsler found that it is not the IQ which determines your complete success in your job, but also your drive, your energy, and your impulsiveness to do the job. That is your emotional intelligence. Now, exactly the concept of emotional intelligence came from the theory of Gardner, who talked about multiple intelligences, and then there was Selve and Mayer, who propagated the idea of emotional intelligence, and then Goleman, who gave it in the terms of theory of job and work performance. So, you find most quoted articles and researches from Goleman in this area. In a study of skills that distinguish staff performance in every field from entry-level jobs to executive positions, the single most important factor was not IQ, advanced degrees, or technical expertise, it was EQ. Of the competencies required for excellence in performance in the job studies, 67% were emotional competencies. Another study by John Gottman, it says in the last decade or so, science has discovered a tremendous amount about the role emotions play in our lives. Researchers have found that even more than IQ, your emotional awareness and abilities to handle feelings will determine our success and happiness in all walks of life, including family relationships too. So it is not it is people in good moods are better at inductive reasoning and creative problem solving. The nervous system and hormone responses of hostile people are a pathway to disease and death. The nervous system and the hormone responses of hostile people. When we say this, hostile people, hormone responses, it is actually the emotions leads to generation of certain certain hormones in our body, which we can call as the bad hormones. And when these bad hormones are generated, we further get aggravated, we further get more frustrated, and this becomes a vicious circle, and we become more frustrated and enraged. Even a study by the Center for Creative Leadership, once they found that 75% of the careers are derailed for reasons related to emotional competencies, including inability to handle interpersonal problems, unsatisfactory team leadership during times of difficulty or conflict, or inability to adapt to change or elicit trust. Now, what are the probabilities of not having a good emotional intelligence, and what does it lead to? While people have shown they can produce better result at workplace, many of us lack emotional intelligence. We simply do not know how to perceive, understand, express, and manage our emotions effectively. When we say perceiving emotions means understanding what the other person is saying and how we are interpreting that particular information. When we say understand, the meaning that we attach to these emotions, how do we express? Are we expressing them in subtle manner, or we are talking in enraged manner? So that would define and depend, that would actually define how other person is going to react back and manage our emotions effectively. Are we able to manage our emotions in difficult situations, in different situations, is again a question, and that leads to the problems in the workplace. What kind of problems? Maybe relationship problems, poor decision making capabilities, rage in the workplace, or failure to advance in our career. So, emotional intelligence, in literal terms, officially coined by Salovey and Mayer, says the capacity for recognizing our own feelings and those of others, for motivating ourselves, and for managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationships. Emotional intelligence describes ability distinct but complementary to academic intelligence. So, emotional intelligence is basically motivating ourselves and managing emotions well in ourselves and understanding the emotions of others and managing them too. So, looking into what exactly emotional intelligence consists of, it consists of two things. One is recognition and one is regulation of emotions. And recognition at two levels, one is at self level and one is at social level. Same way, regulation at two levels, one is at self level, one is at social level. So when we talk about self recognition, it is self awareness, that is through self confidence, emotional self awareness, accurate self assessment. See, what happens is, many a times when there is some argument with other people, we try to rationalize ourselves by saying, no, whatever I am saying is correct. But actually, inside, we know that maybe we are wrong. So, what exactly it is? We are not making the correct self assessment. We are rationalizing ourselves. Now, this creates a problem because when we are trying to rationalize, we are deviating from the reality. We are not moving according to what is required. Then emotional self-awareness, that is how well we are able to manage our emotions, how well we can control ourselves in different situations in life. So this is self-recognition. Then is social awareness. When we talk about social awareness, the first concept is empathy. Empathy, the putting yourself into the shoes of others. When we say putting yourself into the shoes of others, means understanding the behavior of the other person or the reaction of the other person while putting yourself in the place of that person. See, we all are human beings and we all are different individuals, right? So, as a person, we have our own emotions, we have our own values, we have our own belief systems, we have our own limitations, our own strengths. In the same manner, other individuals are also having their own beliefs or their own value systems or their own limitations. So we need to understand them with their own limitations and we have to deal with them accordingly. So that is the first thing into social awareness, and that is empathizing with the with other individuals. Then is organizational awareness. Now when we talk about organizational awareness, what exactly do we mean? We mean that what kind of organization we are working with, what are the cultural requirements of this particular organization. For example, if you are working in India, the organizational setup would be different from if you are working abroad. In different, maybe if you are working in America, you would find that people have more casual approach towards each other. They would be calling each other with first names, or they would stick to their 9 to 5 culture. While if you are working with a Japanese organization, you would find a different work culture there, and the work culture would be that they would be addressing each other formally. They would be working maybe say 20 hours in a day. So organizational awareness as to how people work, what are their values, what are the value system and belief system in the organization, how they work in the organization is very important to understand. Then understanding the environment where we are working, where we are dealing with people. Are we in a party? Are we in a formal setup? And how should we behave in different environment is the understanding of the environment. what should we say at what place is we have to understand and react accordingly. Then, after the recognition of self and people around us, the next step that comes is the regulation of our self management, and that comes through self control. Now, how we can build self control is very important. That we can do through developing few characteristics in us. That is one, trustworthiness. So, when we say trustworthiness, what do we mean by this is that we should display ourselves, we should keep ourselves trustworthy to others. And when we say trustworthy, means we should stick to our words. It should not be like that you are saying something today and you are saying something else tomorrow, so people will not believe you. They would believe you only when they would find that there is a consistency in your behavior. Whatever you say, you walk the talk, you go by the words. Only then the trustworthiness would develop. To understand this, if you remember a story that we share about the shepherd boy and the lion, so every day when he used to say, there is a lion, there is a lion, everyone used to run to help him around. And finally, when one day the lion was there, so nobody came to help him. Why? Because the guy lost his trustworthiness. The next is developing conscientiousness. Now, conscientiousness is taking the responsibility of what you are doing and sticking to that responsibility is your conscientiousness. The work that you take in your hand, you should complete it. Otherwise, don't take the work. Then adaptability to different situations in life, adapting to the work environment, adapting to the friends group, adapting to the family, adapting to different situations in the life. Drive and motivation, very important thing. Without drive, without motivation, we do not do anything in our life. You can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink unless and until the horse wants to drink the water. So what is it? Exactly, this is basically a drive from inside, a need which drives us to do something, and that converts into motivation. And that need has to be created inside. See, if we are hungry, even eating at a roadside restaurant, we will feel that yes, we are really happy and we feel that the food is really good. But even if we are filled up, we have full stomach, and even at the best of the restaurants in the country, you may not feel like eating. Why? Because there is no need from inside to eat. So this need has to be created, the need to achieve something in life, need to regulate ourselves in the life, and initiative. The most important thing is, if you have to really excel in life, the most important another aspect is initiative, that you have to take initiative for different things in life. Now, after regulating your own self, the another important aspect is your social skills, regulating behaviors with the others. And how would you do that? One is inspirational leadership. Inspirational leadership means, one, find your idol. Get inspired by some good people in life and try to imitate, try to follow them in life, so that you can also find a path to the success. Help in developing others. When you are able to understand your own emotions and you understand the emotions of others, the individuality of others, then you can help others also to develop as individuals. And when we say develop as individuals, it does not mean that you have to advise them as to how to do it or force upon them that you should do this. No, it is helping them to find a path of developing their own self, so that they can also perform good, and together you can create a synergy and perform better. Then influence. Try to put influence only as much required. See, we all as individuals have different needs of our personalities. Uh, there are certain needs like need for recognition, need for affection, need for inclusion into different scenarios. And there are two different type of behaviors we all of us show, that is our wanted behaviors and expressed behaviors. So wanted behaviors and three different needs gets converted into our need for wanted control, that is wanted power of others, wanted affection, and wanted inclusion. Wanted control means we want others to control ourselves, and wanted inclusion means we want others to include in their activities, and wanted affection means that we want others to show affection towards us. And expressed behavior is that expressed control is we are showing control on others. Expressed affection is we are showing affection to others, and expressed inclusion is we are including others in our activities. Now, all of us have the different variation of these needs into us. There are certain people you would find who are very high on these expressed behaviors, that you would find them very bossy kind. So their bossiness is actually their expressed control need. They are behaviorally like that. They want to control others. They want to, give directions to others. Then there are people you would find that they try to associate everyone with their work. They want that everyone should be included in the task that they are doing, and that is their expressed inclusion need. The people who are high on expressed inclusion need would be doing so. So these are basically your personality differences, and every individual is different on this. Then expressed affection, maybe you would see that there are certain people who would show a lot of affection towards others, while even to the extent that you may not like it. So exactly this is because they have very high need to show affection to others. So these are basically individual differences which we have to understand, we have to get along with in others, and even in our own self, because others are also getting along with what are our peculiarities. Then another kind of behavior is wanted control. That is, there are certain people who would not say that control me, or who would not take initiative, but they want that others should guide them for each and everything. This is wanted control. They want others to control their behaviors or their day-to-day activities. They want supervision in each and everything. So this is their basically personality need. This is the need of their interpersonal skill. Then wanted affection. There are certain people who would not say I need affection, but internally they want affection from others. Or there would be people who would not say out that include me in your activity, but internally they want that they should be included. Now what happens in different situations, you would find that there are these people, and the people who are high on wanted needs, they would not say out anything, but you would find them cribbing either for the affection that the boss has not given any attention to me, or the boss is not listening to me, or the boss is not guiding me, or even for the peer groups also, they would try and go to different people and try to associate with them, and they would not say out things. So in the same manner, so we have to identify what are these behavioral needs of the people around us, and then accordingly we have to deal with them. This helps you into building bonds also with each other. Then teamwork and collaboration. The most important aspect that we have today in the organization is teamwork and collaboration with each other. Now here, when we talk about collaboration, see, collaboration is not uh, required all the time. Yes. Why? Because there are certain situations where probably you need to avoid things also. So it depends on the situation to situation as to where we have to collaborate, where we have to avoid certain things, where we have to accommodate, where we have to compromise, and where we have to be assertive. When we talk about teamwork, teamwork is teamwork focuses on 100% collaboration. Collaboration means you are giving your 100% cooperation, and as well as you are taking 100% stand for the right things. That is becoming assertive for the right things, so that you can find out the best of the solutions in all the situations. Now, how this assertiveness? Say, suppose you are in a meeting and an idea is given that, okay, let's try to find out, let's try to develop some new product. Now, if there is somebody who's very influential or a boss, he would say that these should be the specification of this product, and all rest of the people all agree to it. Now, what happens? Do you think we would be able to get the best of the product? No. Why? Because the idea is only coming from one individual, and rest others are just accommodating with the idea. So in this case, we will not be able to find out the best solution. We would be able to find out the best solution when we are collaborating. That is, we should question that how this could be the best idea. Is there any no other possibility of having any other idea which is better than this? So this is putting your foot down for the right thing, asserting on the ideas so that you can come up with the best of the solutions. So that is collaboration. Now, when we are talking of this recognition and regulation, how exactly can we do that? To do this, we have to look into three things: emotions, feeling, and thinking, and we have to maintain a coordination between these three things: emotions, feelings, and thinking. We have to control our emotions, we have to control our feelings, so that we can think in the right direction. And this we can do through what? One, perceiving emotions. Perceiving emotions in the right manner. Perceiving emotions, what emotions we are displaying and what emotions others are displaying. Then understanding those emotions. What are the feelings attached to these emotions which we are displaying and which others are displaying? Say, for example, again, if you are in a meeting where there are certain people, and if you are say developing some product to extinguish fire, now you might find that there is somebody who's getting very jittery on to how to deal with the fire situations and becoming panicky also. So you need to understand that there could be a possibility that the person might have faced certain situation in life where there is an accident with the fire. So you have to understand that person and need to discuss with the person more, so that you can get more knowledge from his experience rather than being aggressive towards a person. Okay, so this is how you need to understand emotions of your own self and the emotions of others towards different aspects when you are into an interpersonal relationship, be it your friend group, be it your family, be it at your workplace. Then managing emotions. managing those emotions properly. That when you are into a family gathering, what is expected? Even if you are at a family gathering and suppose you are having a strong headache, you don't want to participate, but others want you to be part of it. So what you will do? Would you participate or would you leave the situation? The demand is that you should be there with them. So manage yourself so that the part of you that others expect you to be with them should be there. At the workplace, you might have different problems at home. You might have had a fight at home, you might have some gross problems at home, but when you are at a workplace, you have to control your emotions. You have to look into the aspect that you are there to work. The organization is paying you to work there, not to show your or not to carry over your problems with you into the organization. And then using emotions to facilitate thinking. The earlier example, when I said that the person who might have had some accident with the fire sometime, now his emotions would help you to actually the ideas that might be coming from that person with his experience might be really useful in finding out some innovative solutions for the situation. Then, in understanding emotions, the first thing that we have to identify is who I am and what I do. Who exactly I am? What are my capabilities? What is my personal competency? What is my social competency? When we say personal competency, it is our self-awareness, our vision, our values in life, our belief systems. How do I think I want to spend my life? What do I want to be in life? Do I want to be a successful person? Do I want to be a successful family person? Do I want to be a successful business person? So, what is my vision for the life? And then, what values and what belief systems I have? So, defining them is understanding oneself. What are my desires? What I want to achieve in life is understanding what I am. And then what I do to manage myself. How do I do to manage myself? So that could be done through self-motivation and self-regulation. So your personal competency can be developed by first of all understanding your own self and then by developing the mechanisms to motivate yourself and regulate yourself. See, having a vision for life is not enough. I want to be a successful actor. I want to be a successful businessman. I want to be like Dhirubhai Ambani. So, would thinking this would help you to find out a solution? Or is it the solution? No. The solution will come only when you will motivate yourself to do something good in life, to regulate yourself to achieve those heights as achieved by Dhirubhai Ambani or maybe achieved by a good actor if you want to be an actor. So one thing that is required is to motivate our own self, because as I said, you can take a horse to the water but you can't make it drink because the need is not there. So we have to create that need in us to grow, to develop in life. And for creating those needs, it is again a cyclic process. To create those needs, we have to have a strong vision for our life, strong value systems, strong belief system in our life. Then only having motivation would not work until and unless we regulate our behaviors on a day-to-day basis. Now, when we say day-to-day basis, what do we mean? We need to plan out our life accordingly, what we want to achieve. I want to be a successful business person in next 10 years. So, I would be a successful businessman in next 10 years only when I am starting my journey from today. And that is how I am going to achieve that. Where I would be after 5 years, where I would be after 1 year. So whatever I am planning to be, that I would be at this place after 1 year, I have to find out that how I have to do this. What all should I do to reach to this place where I want to be after 1 year, right? So this could be done through empowering our own self by increasing our resilience, decreasing our stress, increasing our satisfaction with the things, increasing our intuition and insight, and actualizing ourselves. Okay, so first of all, we need to develop resilience in ourselves. Resilience is the capability of coming back from the adverse situations. That is the one of the most important aspect which will give you success in life. Then try to reduce your stress. Whenever you are in a difficult situation, don't think that this is the end of the world. No, this is just one milestone, one probably a small hurdle in the way of your success. Increase satisfaction with the things. That is most important. Increase satisfaction with whatever you have with you, and increase your intuition as to what is possible, increase your insight into things, and you can increase your intuition and insight by reading more and more. Read more and more books so that you can develop your intuition, you can develop your insight. And then we need to develop again self-fulfillment and self-actualization. Self-fulfillment, what is going to be my goal for life, what is going to satisfy me, and self-actualization, what I want to achieve in my life. So after defining these few things, by increasing your resilience, decreasing your stress, increasing your satisfaction, your insight, your intuition, your actualization, then you define your goals which you are going to achieve in your life, as to what I want to achieve in next 1 month, in next 5 months, 6 months, after 1 year, and set these goals which are reasonable. When we say reasonable goals, it should not be so easy that you do not get a feel of achievement after achieving them, or it should not be so tight or so difficult that you are not able to achieve them and then you feel depressed. So optimum and reasonable goals should be placed in front of yourself so that you can achieve them. This is how you can increase your personal competency. Then, talking about social competency, how you can develop social competency is through one, empathy. I told you, by getting aware of others, understanding others, their behavior, and then through relationship management, knowledge and skills to manage the relationships with others. So when we talk about awareness of others, understanding others, one very interesting aspect is that we have two distinctions of personality. You might have heard about them and you hear about them every day, is extroversion and introversion. Now, extrovert are the people who loves to talk to other, who you would find that they cannot sit alone, they want other people to be around with them, they want a lot of people around them. They are like solar batteries. you leave them between people, they would be charged. And this is actually physically governed because we all have certain energies in our body. The extrovert people gain more and more energy when they meet more and more people around them. The introvert people lose their energy when they meet people. They are like mobile batteries which need a separate place to be charged. So introvert are the people who would lose their energy when they are meeting a lot of people. Extrovert are the people who would gain a lot of energy when they are meeting people. So when these extrovert people and introvert people are together, what happens is extrovert feels that introverts are very snobby, they don't want to share, they don't want to speak, they are non-indulgent type, they don't want to get along. It is actually not so. Why? Because introvert people have a personality like that. Because they lose their energies when they talk to others, they feel drained out when they talk a lot with others, and therefore they need a little space to get charged again for the work. However, introverts feel that extrovert people are very pushy, they are overbearing, they eat their space, they eat their time, and getting over your head. So it is exactly again not so. Actually, the extrovert people need energy, they cannot sit without meeting others for long. So this very distinction we need to understand, that there are certain people who are extroverts, so they have different type of personality setup. There are certain people who are introverts, so they have a different type of personality setup, and you cannot change them, you can only adjust with each other. When the introvert needs a space, extrovert has to understand that since this person is an introvert, so I should give him little space so that the person can get his energies back. And if there are extroverts, so the introverts have to understand that this person needs little interaction with me so that the person can feel happy and remain charged for the work. So this is one basic differentiation in the personality of the individuals. In the same manner, there are other differentiations, like there are certain people who are judging and there are certain people who are perceiving types. Now, the judging people are the ones who would take instant decision. They would decide everything very fast. They would look into the things and take a decision and give their verdict. While the perceiving people, you would find that they would keep on looking into different options. Should we do this? Should we do that? Or let's look into some other option, or let's find out some other solution. So now when these judging and perceiving people are together, what happens is judging people feel that the perceiving people are putting unnecessary wasting time unnecessarily on deciding on things which could be a decision which could be taken in a minute. They are wasting their times. However, perceiving people think that the judging people have not given the right amount of input to the decision to be taken. They have not explored everything, so how can they decide on to things? So now again we have to understand onto these things that if a person is putting up lot of ideas and saying that should we do this or should we do that, or let's look at more options, that means that the person is a perceiving kind of a person, or a person who is taking a decision just in a minute, saying like, okay, we will do this and this is final. So this is a judging kind of a person. And then we have two identify as to how we have to adjust with each other. We have to, if we have to look into the more options, the perceiving person has to tell to the judging person that okay, there is one more option could be possible which we can think of. I know you want to go by the decision that you have taken, but let's try and find out that there could be other possibilities also. So, and if there is a perceiving person to whom you have to ask to take a judgment, then the judging person should say, see, to get the work done, we have to settle down somewhere and let's try out, let's write down the options which are available and try to fix on that this is what we are going to do, and then we would stick to it. So, this is how we can understand each other. Being aware about the needs of the others, being aware about the personalities of the others, and develop an understanding, and therefore can develop the relationships through what? Cooperation, collaboration, building rapport, by making better decisions, by creating win-win solutions, by being making more meaningful connections. When we say cooperation, helping each other, as I explained right now. Collaborating, when we are into a situation where we have to give our best and with a lot of time, so we have to collaborate. We should not bow down to the ideas given by one or the two individuals who are influential into group. We should try and find out more and more ideas, be a little more assertive about things. Building rapport is very important. In any kind of relationship or in any kind of interpersonal interaction what you are doing, if you are not making other person comfortable with you, you are missing on many things. And making this making other person comfortable with you is basically building rapport. That is understanding, developing a basic understanding as to what you are and what other person is. So, building that rapport is very important. Then, taking better decisions together, creating a win-win outcome. You should make understand the others that whatever decisions are suggested, how it is going to be useful for others and how is it going to be converted into a win-win situation for both the individuals. And through making more meaningful connections, means sticking to the requirement of the relationships, not going beyond the limits. So, this would help you to manage your relationships nicely. So, this would lead to some bottom line benefits, that is improving and fulfilling personal and professional relationships, would help you to get into better insights, better decisions, better outcomes, improve your effectiveness as leader and as manager, increase your efficiency and your profitability about the things. So, here is something which I want to tell you, that there are certain qualities which you can look into the individual to identify whether a person is a person with low emotional intelligence or a person with high emotional intelligence. So, a person with a high emotional intelligence, you would find that the person is assertive, but for the right thing. He is ambitious, he is driving. Driving means he has self drive to do things. He would take initiatives. He would be having an attitude of let's do it, let's give it a try. Strong willed, that if I have to do something, I have to give it a try. I will definitely try on this. Decisive, the one who would take a decision that okay, I have to achieve this, so I'll do it in this manner. Step 1, step 2, step 3. The person who's high on emotional intelligence, you would find him a warm person who would be greeting everybody, meeting everybody, having a good smile, showing you a good smile always, then enthusiastic. You would find that the person is bubbling with the energy. Sociable, who understand what to say at what time and not ignoring people when meeting people. Charming, of course, a person who's warm, enthusiastic, sociable would be charming, because a person who meets you with a drab emotion, oh, how are you, you would probably not like to speak to such a kind of person. but you would like to interact with a person who says, "Hi, how are you?" So obviously it increase your energy levels also. And then the another quality that you would find in a highly emotional intelligent person is persuasiveness. Persuasiveness to do things, to pursue things, to stick with the things, persistence of doing things. Then they are patient. They are patient listeners. They listen to your views completely, and then they take a decision. See, there are impatient listeners. What they do is they take one portion of the information and start putting their judgments to it. They do not grab the entire information. So in that case, they lose the rest of the information which might be vital to take a decision. Then they are very stable, stable in their ideas, stable in their beliefs, stable in their behaviors with others. You would not find them depressed and gloomy one day and then hyper happy next day. They would be stable in their behaviors. They are predictable. When we say predictable, that you can identify that yes, the person is going to give this reaction on this thing. If you are not predictable, people would not like to interact with you. People would not like to get along with you. If in a group there is somebody who would react on certain matter in a very different way one day and in a very different way another day, so nobody would be able to decide as to what reaction is going to come. So that predictableness is very important, and that comes from developing your strong beliefs and value systems. Then consistency is also required. Then you need to be good listener, detailed about everything. Whatever you are doing, you should have detailed information about those things. Never take a decision without exploring all the possibilities or without exploring all the facts about a particular aspect. Be careful of what you are deciding, of what you are saying, of what you are, the way you are behaving. Meticulous. We do a lot of work, but if that work is not good, if it is not clear, if it is not understandable, it is a waste. Even when you were in schools, you used to have 5 marks for your neat work. You used to have even marks, good marks in your exams if you used to write your exam neatly, that is meticulously. Whatever you are doing, it should be understandable. That meticulous attitude is required. Then systematic. Whatever you are doing, do it systematically so that one can make sense out of it. And then neat work. As I said, meticulous and neat work is required, which are the qualities of highly emotional intelligent people. And the people who are low on emotional intelligence, you would find them to be aggressive, demanding, egotistical, bossy, confronting everything, easily distracted from their goals, selfish. They are poor listener, impulsive. They behave on they react on impulses. Impulses means just getting a little information and start reacting on it without listening to the entire thing. Then they have resistance to change. They don't want to change themselves, and change is something which is constant, which is required to grow in life. They are very passive. They don't take initiatives. They are only the ones who crib. They would first of all wait for others to initiate something, and then they would start cribbing, start finding out the faults with others. They are very unresponsive. They don't respond to others. They are very slow, stubborn in their approach, very critical of others, very fussy into understanding others, very hard to please. It is very difficult to make them understand and get along for things. So these are the things which define an individual who is low in emotional intelligence. So we have to identify if there are certain people like these around us. We have to deal them if accordingly and convert them into the individuals who can help you to achieve. See, you will find different type of people in your work areas where you would be working. So you can't change everybody, but yes, you can make the person adjust to the situations so that the work can be done. Here I would like to share with you about the power of emotions management, how positive emotions, developing positive emotions can help an individual. This is, you can see a person called Norman Cousins. Norman Cousins was an American political journalist. He was a writer, author, professor, and he has a very famous book on managing through positive emotions, that is Anatomy of an Illness. This man has life-threatening inflammatory disease, and in this disease he used to have a lot of pains in different part of the body, to the extent that unbearable pains. So how he used to manage his pains is through watching cartoons, being happy, laughing, and watching movies by Marx Brothers. And he used to say that 10 minutes of laughing gave him 2 hours of pain-free sleep. So his laughter reduced his inflammation, and that is the power, healing power of positive moods in us. So with this, friends, I would like to share some sayings by a few very eminent writers. Rosenberg said, "We are dangerous when we are not conscious of our responsibility for how we behave, think, and feel." We are dangerous if we are not conscious of our responsibility for how we behave, think, and feel. If we do not understand how we are behaving, how we are thinking, how we are feeling, and how is it going to affect others, and if we are not taking responsibility of our behaviors, we are really dangerous. We would be a problem to the society. Emotion, which is suffering, cease to be suffering as soon as we have a clear picture of it. Very good quote by Bandit Spinoza. Emotions, which is the suffering, cease to be suffering as soon as we have a clear picture of it. What we are feeling, why we are feeling this. If we get a clear picture of, if we are able to understand a particular emotion, yes, half of our problems are solved, because then we are able to put reason to it. William James said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitude of mind." Yes, we can change our life by changing our attitude of mind. If we put ourselves in the right direction, in a positive direction, we can move on to the path of success. If we put ourselves on the negative direction, we can put ourselves on the path of being doomed. Joseph Newton said, "We cannot tell what may happen to us in the strange medley of life, but we can decide what happened in us, how we can take it, what we can do with it, and that is what really counts in the end." So we are not sure what is going to happen to us next moment, but yes, we are sure how can we manage ourselves in different situations, and that is how you would be able to sustain through success, sustain through and survive through every hardships and every possible challenge in your life. Thank you so much. Your questions are welcome.
Okay. We explained the various aspects of emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. But one thing I would like to know, when, especially when the people are emotionally disturbed, what one should do, because that time theory or the other things will not come to their mind. So in that cases, yeah, at that moment of time, what one should start doing?
See, there is one thing, that when we are emotionally disturbed, again I said that we have different kind of personality. There are certain people who are very strong personalities, can manage their emotions well. So, and there are certain weak personalities who cannot manage their emotions. So, the first important thing is to understand that why I am feeling so. what is the reason for this?
Okay.
So,
Almost, it means same principle what you suggested. He should try to first know about what is happening, and then means identification, then regulation, self control.
then regulation. First of all, try to understand,
What
as
is
I
the
said, who I am, what I am doing,
Okay.
and then try to regulate yourself in
Okay.
terms of what I have to do.
Okay.
So, even in an emotional disturbed situation, if you are not able to identify and find a solution, write it down. What has happened to you which led to this particular position?
Okay.
What are the factors you think were that led to this particular situation?
That's fine.
Then try to eliminate that what are not the causes which you have attached probably because you are feeling emotionally disturbed,
Okay.
and try to get down to the basic cause.
Okay.
See, most of the emotional disturbances takes place only because we do not take responsibility of the actions we are doing. Right. If we start taking the responsibility of our actions, half of our problems are solved.
Look. Okay. So, well, friends, the solution is first you recognize the things, and then you regulate yourself. This is what we can understand from the today lecture, and if we follow this, we will certainly be emotionally at advantage positions. So with this we conclude the lecture. I thank all of you for listening to the lecture, and on behalf I thank Dr. Silpa Jain for giving such a wonderful lecture. Thank you very much.